After weeks of speculation, the LNP has finally come clean on the scale of its planned slash and burn of Queensland's public sector. 12,000 jobs and $1 billion to be cut each year, and even the creation of a new word to try to justify its attack.
Unemployment is a human tragedy, not an economic statistic, and that's something Laurence Springboard doesn't understand. Cutting these jobs by natural attrition will still mean 12,000 unemployed Queenslanders struggling to put food on the table. But in terms of what it actually means in terms of public sector jobs, we will see forced retrenchments, and we will see a loss of services in health, education, police and every other important agency across the board.
With no plan for who'll answer the phones, fill out the paperwork or help support our frontline officers, Laurence Springborg's claims that the cuts won't affect services are looking ludicrous.
If we were to lose further staff, it would place a huge demand on the existing staff and would place children and young people in danger, because if you have a caseload that you can't get to every single child on that caseload, the children you don't get to are automatically by default in danger because you haven't had a chance to assess them. So it's ridiculous to think that you can trim staff from such a critical area.
Those who dedicate their careers to serving the people of Queensland already know who the big losers will be from the LNP's public sector war of attrition.
In our department, we're also responsible for disaster recovery response. So when there's been a disaster in a community, such as the recent flooding in Ingham and also through Innisfail and Cairns, as well as when we went through Cyclone Larry, our department is one of the first to man the recovery phase.
Even before the first votes have been cast, the opposition is already showing their disdain for public sector workers.
We've got an alternate potential LNP government led by Springborg, who hasn't even bothered to return correspondence that's been sent by myself, asking him specific questions in relation to contract cleaning being put into schools and a range of other public sector areas. And that's a situation that we had in 1996 by Borbidge, who sacked 6,000 cleaners just prior to Christmas in our schools.
It's very difficult work. It's very demanding and emotionally exhausting work, so it's extremely, it's very confronting to hear our potential political leaders describe those jobs as a bit superfluous.
But it's not just services that will suffer under the LNP. As Queensland battles the effects of the global financial crisis, it's inevitable that the loss of 36,000 jobs over 3 years will hurt businesses in every corner of the state.
Every job you take out of the Queensland economy is going to put one more person on the unemployment queue, and that's going to be one less person spending money in the shops, and one less person able to keep the economy running. We're facing a dramatic downturn economically across the world with the collapse of the mining industry and hospitality. To keep Queensland ticking over, we need Queenslanders spending money in Queensland.
We need people to start spending again, and if people are losing their jobs, it's not going to happen.
Deficit's not a problem at the moment. The problem is going to be, a very steep recession, which we're seeing in the rest of the world.
What sort of leader can't see the effects of slashing jobs at a time when every pay packet counts?
Springborg, get on your springboard. You're out of touch, mate. You need to get out there and see what's happening out there in the regions.
With so much at stake, it's never been more important for Queensland to be in the hands of an experienced government that will manage the state for all and can lead it through the challenges ahead.